All right, we're about to see Whomstdve versus DeadEye on Dreamcatcher. I can't quite remember what this is. Maybe this is a loser bracket game. Not 100% sure. Anyway, here we are on Dreamcatcher. Whomstdve as our Protoss player in the bottom right, and DeadEye playing Terran up in the top left. Dreamcatcher, personally, I feel favours a Terran. It's so easy to siege up this area and be tucked in behind here and just deny this. There's a big area here for drops and stuff. You can drop a siege tank in this kind of zone. You can drop a siege tank here. I just feel like it's a really good Terran map in general. It's so personally, all other things being even, I would suggest Terran favoured. However, we'll see what happens. So Whomstdve with the really quick expo here, Gateway not even finished up and an expo coming down. So that is very fast indeed. Barracks, CC, gas, normal looking stuff for DeadEye, and everything. Nothing very radical so far, but I am concerned that Whomstdve does not have a side core. Is mining gas, but isn't building a side core. You cannot spend gas, until you've got a side core. I mean, like technically you could build a forge and you could get an upgrade, but what would be the point? You know what I mean? The only thing you'd be upgrading would be slow zealots against a Terran. Ugly. So the side core really needs to come down as a matter of urgency, and finally it starts. He's gone pylon mad here. Literally, what is this? Don't stop building pylons and build some gateways. What is happening? One gas with only one in it. No workers being built here. So there's definitely room to tighten up this build. This is too many zealots. You know what, like without charge, what are these zealots going to achieve? My suggestion would be very little indeed. If there's a single marauder on the map with concussive shell, those zealots will just get completely shut down. There's actually widow mines in production, and widow mines against zealots. That's going to be pretty ugly for those zealots. So, Whomstdve, you need to start climbing the tech tree. This really early Nexus, technically gives you an advantage, leapfrogs you up the tech tree ahead of your opponent. But that isn't going to be the case unless you actually take advantage of it. So, handful of Marines on the map. Bit of building juggling going on here. Here is a top tip, right? Before you switch buildings, control group your buildings. So, for me personally, like what number you go for doesn't matter. My factory is always 6, my starport is always 7. What you find is sometimes if you lift a building off, if it's above another building, it's really, really difficult to select that building while it's in the air, and it can be really annoying. So if you've already got them in a control group, it makes your life so much simpler. Anyway, this wall is actually not quite complete, but the gap is not big enough for the siege tank. It will be if he lowers the depot here. To be honest though, sieged up here isn't an awful location. Sieged up, that would actually cover this ramp, which, isn't a terrible place for a defensive siege tank. I'd love to see these two widow mines actually loaded into the medevac and being unloaded here and here. That'd be an awesome thing, or indeed one here. That'd be great. There's no detection over here, and there is no way to build detection either, literally zero. There isn't a robo and there isn't a forge, so no cannons and no observers are going to be coming out anytime soon. This is a big old army for DeadEye. Upgrades wise, combat shield is done, stim is done. There are medevacs to support the stim. So that's looking pretty good. Whomstdve is lagging behind despite the earlier expo, and I'm beginning to worry. There's no sort of, like, we're only getting gateway tech with no upgrades, no speed for the zealots, no blink for the stalkers, no kind of 1-1 or anything like that. Has sealed this off, and Personally, I'd kill that, you know, because like if the Terran sieges up back here and just drops Marines over on this side, what are you going to do? You can't get round to the siege tanks. It'd be nasty. Finally, there is a forge, so we can see some upgrades. And more importantly, I suppose we could see... I'm sorry, my brain's rotted. Like, we could see photon cannons. Yeah, I got there in the end. Photon cannons. I must apologise, folks. I've had sinusitis for a couple of weeks, and it's cost me so many IQ points. So this many siege tanks. Look, what are these medevacs doing over there? Unless they're dropping widow mines, they shouldn't be there. These siege tanks need to be sieged up. Siege these up, and this is like GG, man. So siege them up. Siege them up. Siege them. What are you doing? Siege the siege tanks up. For Christ's sake, please, just siege them up. Please. Please. Oh, it's painful, isn't it? It's painful. So widow mines are running in here. Widow mines don't attack unless I don't know what. The siege tank's still not actually sieged up. Anyway, it's not going to matter because look at the army supply. It's just like huge army against no army. So Whomst. What could you do different? You know, you need better tech. I'm sorry. Whomst, while that was going on, while this army was faffing about, not sieging up, Whomst sent this force of slow zealots and stalkers up the other side of the map. So while this was happening over here, Whomst had his own little counter. Now, here's the thing, right? You cannot base trade against the Terran. You can't, because in any sort of base trade scenario, worst case for the Terran is they have to lift up their CC and fly it away. You can't do that as a Protoss. I'd love to see these units actually shoot. You can't do that as the Protoss, so you're never going to win a base trade. Now, with that said, DeadEye is not lifting up the CC, is completely supply blocked at home. You know, if only that siege tank had been there, would have been beautiful, wouldn't it? So he's got to make sure he doesn't lose this CC. However, this army can definitely annihilate these buildings long before this army can kill all of these buildings, long before. But he's still got to be careful. Look, there is a worker on the map. There's a lot of money in the bank, 9,000 minerals. You know, all this worker's got to do is go over here and drop a Nexus and buy his units enough time to seal the deal over here. Whomst has indeed dropped the Nexus. There's a Nexus going on over here. You know, with 9 grand in the bank, I'd have one here, I'd have one here, I'd have one here, there, everywhere. The medevacs on their own, no. But finally, DeadEye's going to come home and essentially crush this. Look, it's 114 army, but like, why wouldn't you have flown it away? Come on. I don't know if DeadEye's actually got any workers. He doesn't, so he can't actually rebuild. So, you know, he's made this unnecessarily dangerous, to be honest. What he easily could have done, that was a relatively small army. He could have just loaded 3 medevacs, flown them home, and left the rest of his army on the other side of the map obliterating stuff. As it is now, you've lost all your workers. So if you move out, this is high risk. Does he know where this is? Does he? He doesn't. So I think he's going to find it by luck here. Yeah. Has found it. So, you know, Whomst, if you'd built other Nexuses elsewhere and been a bit more distributed, he may not have found that, and you could have won that game because all you had to do was crank out a few zealots and get them up there and try and kill those supply depots, because DeadEye foolishly left them completely undefended, wandered off across the map. If ever there was a time to have a sneaky dark shrine tucked in a corner on the other side of the map, you've won. You know what I mean? You've literally won. There's no scans going to be coming down. Single DT can go in there and kill all of those buildings. Anyway, that's not what happened. So DeadEye takes it and goes 1-0 up. GG.